Gotta get to the door. Gotta get to the door. Made it to the door. White lines. Some kind of mystery land of slopes. Death? Where am I? This land makes no sense. But is the land really the wrong instance in this situation? Perhaps it is I that is wrong in my ways and must redeem myself for the world itself. Ever thought of it that way? Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the problem. Or maybe the lines dictate the truth that lies within us all along. All along. Stop throwing your fish, dude. Oh, man. The holes. They are the problem in this land. The holes in the land create a shamble of horrors that I cannot even reconcile. That's not gonna be easy to pull off with that guy there. No siree. Oh, go away, big booze! I have to lure them beforehand. I cannot lure them after the time has come. I cannot. Ah, that hole! That hole is timed in a way that nabs me every single time I try to play. A horrible way to end. But a way to end, regardless. Oh, you stupid eerie head skulls! My hat will hear from your lawyer. Release yourselves unto this world. Hey, the holes didn't spawn. And then I screw it up. My only decent opportunity. I gotta start over. Do not let the ghosts sway your decision-making abilities. Ghosts are not like humans. Not anymore. They have lost their faith in humanity, and thus cannot be judged for the content of their unliving lives any longer. Fear not, young ghost wrangler. You will capture the soul of a ghost, and with it, you will find true happiness inside you. That guy is gone. No complaints were heard from the guy playing the game. The hole became an invisible incarnation, and there was no truth to be heard from again. The holy hole of holiness. Ah! There's like a little sliver of land in between them. This world is to come to a complete standstill. Then I will not rest until at least 2/3 of the population wears a toupee. It's the only way. The only way is to wear a toupee. A mystery in town. Have to call the coolest pup around. Scooby-Doo, where art thou? Where art thou? We need you. And Velma too. Scooby-Doo, where are you? And while you're at it, where's Waldo? Another cretin from my past. Waldo. One must study the patterns brought forth beyond the gaps of time in order for progress to be made in any society. But alas, a lonely squid calls out for help. Thrown by a large octopus 20 times the normal size, he calls for help in pain. The two large boos that had been pursuing the young demon all of these years had finally caught up with her. Their task completed. They were cast back into the bowels of hell, into the deep inner fires, where only the demon lord himself presides to watch over the realm, if it can even be considered that. How Demo lived that long, living next to the octopus, it was never certain. But she did perish. Eventually. That day, it was learned that the squid was not an enemy to be trifled with, and that most fish, young or old, were instruments of torment and torture for the denizens of hell. Those living here often forget their place, where they live, their apartment number, the doors they live in. It's just not something they know. How could they? Creatures of naught and death, and brine and brimstone and hawkeyes cannot even be trusted to hold their own hands to work. How could one even possibly think that they could have the ability to decide for themselves what it is that is a friendly baker? It's not something that can be visualized, I know. It's quite difficult. Oftentimes they get crushed between a rope and a floating platform. But is it their fault? No. They didn't ask for this. The duty was cast upon them by a higher power. And what is their life like? Living in a boiling, freezing, uncomfortable environment. Often people think of hell as a burning environment of pain and suffering. That's partially true. An icy cold rain showering you, torturing you for eternity is perhaps just as bad as burning to death. But in hell you don't die again, unless you go through some strange and undocumented ritual. Yes. The life and times of hell. Oh. Snuck up behind her, a large skull did. It was about twice the size of her own cranium, and it assaulted her quite viciously. Nabbed her in the back, while she even did not get a chance to look. The holes bored into the skull in an area representing eyes, it would seem. The eyes of such creatures were odd and misshapen, like that of a seagull, two seagulls flying in a flock. Oddly, they looked happy, despite them being dead and the cracks. Their spinal cords sticking out of the back of their necks, or what would be their necks, for they no longer have that part of their body. Ghosts can be killed in an awkward way. Sliding is not an activity that ghosts generally enjoy partaking in. And once you understand that fact, they will never bother you again, for you will slide to your heart's content, and they will never be the same again. Squids are deadly creatures indeed. This actually works out better. For now, I have made my passage to the netherworld, the next world. At last, I have made it. But look there, yonder. A squid-throwing octopi lies. How to kill it? You must get beneath it in some way. Easier said than done, whistled the man in the cape. For men in capes often are wise beyond their age, for they usually have no age. Gremlins of the past, they live on in our hearts, throwing ugly things at each other, like schoolgirls. Disgusting. Vile. Atrocious. Malodorous, even. These creatures need not be talked to, else ye will feel the wrath of a semi-large dose of defecation right in your nostril. This does not seem particularly, possible. Then again, look at that. An upside-down exclamation point. Viewable via the naked eye. Oh no. We must vanquish the freaking poop thrower. However, such a task does not fall easy. Success. We have made it to a new realm. I am going to attempt something crazy. Can he be killed? He can indeed. And thus, the problem was solved. This land, freed from turmoil and torment, may now rest to the radish gods of old! Dude. This is the end. the unofficial yet official end of What the Hell 2. I think that there are still some levels that have not yet been played that I have to access via going into the ROM. But I don't know for sure, so maybe I should give my thoughts on the game here and now. What the Hell 2 was quite an exciting adventure. raocow, your heart was in the right place, but the execution, however, was, of course, as you know, as wont is raocow to do, is quite let's just say it's quite difficult. But the concepts themselves, especially the end there, that was fun. What? You said you thought that the end you're just creating stuff that was just bad, but no, I thought that was fun, especially if you can slide into dudes and kill them. But yeah, that was the second to last room was definitely awesome in my opinion. I don't know why, but I thought that room was awesome. The music just helps a lot. I'm talking here and rambling. That's fine. That's what video games are all about, talking and rambling and having a good time here. I don't know what else to say. I'm not good at this thing. So, analysis. Consider it completed. I had a good time with this game, honestly. It didn't bore me. That's the good thing. It didn't bore me most of the time. Once, I think it did. But that's beside the point. It's definitely more fun with tools, because doing it toolless is... This game is meant for the concepts, not necessarily the gameplay. That's just the feelings I get from raocow's, you know, words that he uses to express this game. And so yeah. It was a fun time. It may not yet be over, but for the most part, it yet is. So, What the Hell 2, everyone? It's never going to be completed as far as I know. raocow has pretty much said that, but, yeah, you know... We can dream, we can make up our own ending. Demo can traverse the last 67 sections of the levels and find her own apartment, which will not even be a real end, because then it will be a whoops! You dropped the remote control into your fireplace, you gotta go excavate that now. In What the Hell 3. Maybe someday, maybe someday. It's been me, your host, Isocitration, and I'll see you guys next time, and What the Hell 2? Consider it done! Farewell.